nearly made it.
Get him, I tell you. Watch it. Here he goes. Get him down. That's it. That's it. And now. Oh. Stop him.
Darling, don't you know who that is?
I don't know who any of them is. Don't think I want to.
It's Mark Hill, the film star. He's very famous.
Never heard of him.
The one who nearly knocked you over, Paul. You must know him.
Can he act?
Really born? Of course he can.
A lot of them can't.
There's a couple of English couple over there. No, don't. You owe me a phone, right? Now, what you got to do?
Rather good. Also, he used to be very beautiful. Some people think he still is.
Including you.
Right, fine. Now, you fun, yeah? Make it look real, yeah? Yeah. You struggle, then you come up once or twice. Take the mask off first.
What are they doing?
Would you believe Blind Man's Buff?
The blonde one's an actor too. Ivan something or other. They did a picture together years ago, played father and son. He was fantastic. The blonde one, I know.
Yeah. 2, 3.
The stupid idiots.
But he's all tied up.
Thank you for saving me.
He's done it.
Fantastic.
What do you think you're doing?
I'm so sorry. Piet there's just won a bet that he couldn't get you to jump in fully clothed. A game. For fun. That's all.
Fun. I see. I really must do something about my sense of humor.
Could you take that gentleman in the yellow shirt? Yes? He's married, What?
No, but I did.
Anyway, Steve went back on the plane, and I waited. No, that's not for me. Huh? Oh, yes, all right. Mark Hill, the actor.
He played a silly joke on Paul this morning. This is his way of saying sorry.
Are they friends of yours?
No.
You know them?
Nope. I suppose I'd better acknowledge his generous present.
Here you go. Cheers.
I don't actually like champagne in the middle of the day. It makes me go to sleep. Not that there's any fear of that today, is there?
You watch him, Captain. I keep a pin handy just in case.
Do you mind if I interrupt you again? May I introduce myself? Mark Hill. Of course, I know who you are already.
Oh, yeah. My wife, Steve.
Oh, it's unfair. To be such a brilliant writer and to have so beautiful a wife.
Captain De Bono, Mr. Mark Hill.
I'm very pleased to meet you.
Will you?
No, thank you. I'm not so good.
Well, thank you for the champagne. Very kind of you. Not at all necessary.
The least I could do.
Not at all.
I hope it's to your liking. It's what I always drink myself. It's not too dry. What I also wanted to say, Mrs. Temple, when I found out that the gallant hero by the pool is the Paul Temple, was would you both have dinner with me? But I gather that the weather is deteriorating and I shall have to leave this afternoon. So perhaps I may have that pleasure when I come back.
Well, that depends on when you come back, doesn't it?
If you'll dine with me, I'll come back as soon as possible.
We'll have to see you, won't we?
Are you going far, Mr. Hill?
Early to go, sir. Well, I'll see you next week.
I'm so sorry.
Please, there's nothing to apologize for.
You know, I rather think, in spite of it all, he's got something.
Indeed he has.
I quite took to him.
Well, that, darling, is the privilege of somebody who's young and beautiful and female, but it's a good thing you're married.
I'm sorry. I don't want to make you hurry, but promise will be there at 3.
Oh, of course, yes. Now, darling, are you sure?
Absolutely positive. I'm on a holiday and I mean to keep it that way.
I promise I'll let you have him back soon.
All right. I'll see you around 6.
Are they deserting you?
Hello? Yes, isn't it terrible? Paul insists on working.
Iniquitous. Your book's going to have to be even more sensational to justify that. Why don't you come with me? I'm just going over to Gozo, at least as soon as my boat is ready. Pity you can't both come, you know, just for the ride. Have some dinner at my house. You'll enjoy it.
Well, that's a lovely idea. Paul, do you mind?
No, of course not. It's very kind of Mr. Hill.
Oh, Mark, please. We'll look after her for you very well. Anything you want to get from your room?
No, I'll come as I am.
Oh, how's she going to get back?
I'll put her onto the last ferry. You can collect her from Marfa Point.
All right.
Well, my car's over there, darling. It's a nice toy, isn't it?
It's fabulous. Do you use it for long journeys? Across the Atlantic, for instance?
No, I don't. I could, though. I've got a big one for that.
Bigger?
It's too big for the harbour that we're heading for. That's why I use this. In fact, that's why I bought it.
You have to understand, Steve. This is just the dinghy he uses to ferry people out to the real boat.
My goodness, how big is the real one, then?
It's big enough. You could see it when we come back.
Great.
Mark Hills,
Well, what is?
the smallest of those ships over there.
You don't have a professional interest in him, do you?
Customs officer has a professional interest in anyone at all at some time. The boat is very comfortable.
You've been round it?
Twice.
Not on business?
Searching it. I didn't find anything.
But you expected to, eh?
Kind of. I wanted to make him very aware of our existence. I see my job as a deterrent a lot of the time. Perhaps we've deterred him.
From doing what exactly?
He's always playing games.
Oh.
He's never serious.
I know, I was involved.
I thought it was very brave. Slightly foolhardy under the circumstances. But heroes have to be that.
Oh, Paul's no hero. At least I've never thought of him as one. He's too intelligent.
No man ever is a hero to his wife. Woman. He's a lot older than you, isn't he?
A little.
How many years?
Paul is 35.
He certainly doesn't look it.
You make him sound like the old man of the sea. By the way, how much was the bet for?
That wasn't a bet. That was my forfeit.
Forfeit for what?
Losing a game.
Game of what?
Some people call it hide and seek. Our version is called manhunt. It's the same thing, really. Almost.
Except that ours is more exciting.
Oh? What's the difference?
None. Really.
One.
One what?
One difference when we play a game, sweetheart.
I was asking why your manhunt is better than hide and seek.
Mark. That's all.
Mark?
Mm-hmm. Anything Mark does, anything, is always totally for real and much more exciting. Am I right, Maria? Hmm? Hmm?
They're like tiresome children, Mrs. Temple, always bickering. Don't you take any notice? All that Ivan was trying to say is that Mark is totally ruthless and single-minded in everything he does. That makes life with him just that little bit more exciting than life with anyone else.
I've been hearing about your passion for playing games.
Mind cutting, darling?
A card trick.
No. To pick teams. 3 highest against the 3 lowest. Right. That's Alexis, Juliet, and Ivan against me, Maria, and Piet.
One of your games.
You may call it a game. Something you play. It's not. Not to me. To me, it's like work. Something I do until I die. To that extent, it's a game.
What about me?
Well, you can toss.
All right. What am I tossing?
Heads.
Heads it is.
All right. Now you all know the rules. We can start as soon as you like.
Aren't I allowed to play?
Of course. You're the game.
Paul,
Yes.
are you sure Mark Hill's yacht is not returning tonight?
Yes, sure. That's why Steve has to catch the last ferry back. Did you find out what time it's due?
It's already on its way back from Gozo. It gets in here at about 3:30, then returns to Gozo at 4:30.
It doesn't come back?
Not until morning. And if you ask me, I think it stays there for longer than just the night.
What do you mean?
Well, at this time of the year, currents are bad. It sometimes don't return before 5 days or 6 days together.
Excuse me.
Mark's all right when you get to know him. I imagine he wants to write in one of your husband's books on the cheap.
You'll find that extremely difficult. Paul's agent is as tough as nails. So's Paul. But you're not, are you? Tougher than you'd think.
That wouldn't be difficult.
What Ivan is suggesting, Mrs. Temple, is that the only possible reason for Mark inviting you along is to get something out of you.
Perhaps because he likes me. Had you thought of that?
It passed through my mind.
Take no notice of Ivan, Steve. He was born rude. He has no manners and very little talent.
I couldn't vouch for his talent.
Good night.
Have you got a telephone up at the house?
We do indeed. Why?
I thought I'd phone Paul and tell him what time the ferry gets in.
By all means. What ferry were you thinking of?
The one I'm going back on.
Oh. Were you thinking of leaving tonight?
Well, yes, that was the idea. You were going to send me down to the ferry in the car.
So I shall, dear. When there is one to send you to. Beat you to it. I always like my visitors to have their first glimpse from here. Come and behold and wonder at the works of man, of Mark.
Is it that fantastic, then?
It's quite nice.
First glimpse, I'd say it was okay.
the English flair for understatement. It is okay, I'll grant that. And as you'll be staying with us for a bit, I hope that you'll enjoy my home as much as I do.
I'm sure I shall.
Don't be too sure.
Looking for something?
Yes, the telephone. I want to phone my husband.
Over there.
What do I do?
Lift the receiver and say something to it, dear.
Oh, do they speak English?
Depends who they're talking to.
Hello? It sounds dead.
Yes, it probably is. You have to dial 8 for Malta.
What's wrong with it? It seems quite dead.
Well, that's probably because it's been cut off. Mark couldn't stand it. People kept ringing up. Then the parish priest came one day and wanted to borrow it. Mark was slightly stoned. He lent it to him. Like that. The priest wasn't at all grateful.
How am I going to phone my husband? Well, Mark promised me there was a phone up here.
Well, there is. The priest left it here.
I should like to phone my husband. Can you tell me if there's a phone in the village?
Yes, dear.
Well, would you mind telling me where?
Straight through there. Ask anyone. They all know the way around here. They don't know much about anything else, though.
Hello, darling. Leaving so soon?
We thought you'd packed up and gone.
Why? Why should I? I'm Mark's guest.
Please. I was only making conversation. Of course, you'd rather I didn't talk to you.
I was trying to telephone my husband.
Yes. Had obviously failed.
I'll phone again later. He was out.
To say what, precisely?
That I'm stuck here.
Aren't you enjoying yourself?
Not much. I'd rather be with my husband.
You didn't have to come.
Nobody had to lie to me about the ferry.
Oh, now, come now, wait a minute. That was a perfectly genuine error, a mistake that anybody could have made. Generally, they sail up till 10 o'clock at night.
Except when?
Except in the off-season. As it happens, although Mark obviously wasn't aware of it, that's now.
When to when?
October through April, I believe.
Not April at all. March. Oh, don't worry, darling. You'll get it one day. I hope you'll be comfortable in your room. It's opposite mine.
Come and sit down, dear. Did you talk to Paul?
He was out.
Oh. No sooner is your back turned than you find he's going out.
I know exactly where he is. He's doing some research.
Yes, I bet he is. Do you really know?
Yes. Always.
Oh, how boring for both of you.
We don't think so.
You mean you don't? I tell you what. Where is he now? Paul, I mean. Exactly where?
Well, exactly, I can't say. But he's with Captain de Bono and they're going over Fort St. Angelo together. Either that or he's way back from the hotel.
I bet you any amount you like he's not. Ask him tomorrow. Or whenever you see him next.
If you see him, that is.
Why shouldn't I?
Well, you might decide you don't want to.
Or he might. He might think it's a heaven-sent opportunity to go off with his pet, Floozy, on Malta.
We're perfectly happy together.
You were?
Well, nothing's changed. Why should it?
Still, will you bet?
All right. 10 bob.
Oh, well, if that's all. Very well. 10 bob against 10 pounds. I'll give you 10 pounds if you're right.
And I won't accept a check.
How are we doing, darling?
Would you believe winning?
I thought you'd won just now.
Oh, you are clever. How do you do it, dear?
Oh, influence and money, of course.
You're not going to eat those.
Of course, darling. The Maltese do. It's a great delicacy here, you know.
What did you expect?
Well, those aren't birds you eat.
Well, they and we do. You don't have to, but I assure you, they're delicious.
What are?
Piet just brought in a whole string of songbirds, and they say we're going to have them for supper.
Did he? Clever fella. Who's cooking?
Piet is.
But you can't eat them.
Darling, you don't have to worry about the bones or anything. You can eat everything except the beak or the feet.
You don't look very well, dear.
I'm quite all right, thank you. I just think it's obscene, that's all.
Darling, they don't suffer. It's not like lobsters, and I bet you've eaten them.
You've gotten into the wrong team, darling.
Darling, I wasn't even playing.
Don't you think it's about time we consolidated our position? No violence, mind.
Yes? What do you want?
Can I come in?
Good heavens. Fantastic. Do.
Hello, darling. You having a lovely time? Well, I do hope I'm not interrupting anything.
Not at all. We were in the middle of a game. Ivan was just going for the end play.
Ah. Is that what Ivan was going for?
I suppose that's the end of the game.
Well, I don't see why it should be. We can just as easily play with two.
Oh, indeed we can. Steve's obviously been having a ball. I would like to feel I was missing anything.
How did you get here? How did you know?
I found out about the ferry.
Oh, I'm so sorry. My stupid mistake.
You will stay the night, won't you?
Yes. Well, we don't seem to have much alternative. Now, tell us about the game.
Oh, just a game. We sometimes play.
Scare the guests away by morning? Something like that?
A little more than that.
I think you'd better tell us the rules.
Well, it's just for fun. You must understand that.
Oh, I'm enjoying myself immensely.
Yes?
2 teams, hmm?
3 each.
No.
The guests.
Oh, the guests.
Team A, that's Piet and Maria. That's my team. They try to make you enjoy your stay here.
And Team B?
Well, they try to make them, the guests, leave a little earlier.
Like before breakfast tomorrow morning? Well, I think that's a fascinating idea. Marvelous. I must use it in my next book. I'm sure it'll catch on. What do you call it? Must have a name. It's not got a name? Oh, but that's absurd. No, let's all try and think of a catchy catchy, fun-type name for it, hmm? Let's see, what about hate? Now, there you are, you see. There's my house gift to you. The name of your game is hate. Now, then, so that you can all get on with it without a couple of fuddy-duddies like us getting in the way, I think Steve and I'll just go for a little walk, and then we'll go to bed early. Oh, and if we could have a little dinner, just, you know, omelettes, a glass of wine, sent up to our room, I promise you, you won't even know we're here. Until breakfast.
I think that's very funny. I think that's very funny.
It means you've probably won the game.
Well, don't you think it's funny? Well, then laugh, you stupid bitch. Oh, come on.
Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Temple.
Good morning.
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 I'm ravenous. What's for breakfast?
Whatever you like. There's bacon and eggs there, or Sergeant Pierce. He's looking after the kitchen today. I've let the staff go home today.
Oh, bacon and eggs would be fine. Anything but songbirds, really.
Well, what's next on the menu? In the games line, I mean.
Oh, it's the final forfeit on the last game. Do you want to see?
May we?
I thought you'd be leaving us.
No. No hurry.
Oh, good. I must make some new arrangements. Would you join us for lunch on the beach, on the inland sea?
Oh, that sounds divine.
I've got to set off a bit early to put up the barbecue. Would you come with me? I'd love to talk to you.
Certainly.
Fascinating place, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
You can get a boat through there, you know.
Mm.
Of course you know. Do you like some wine?
Oh, thank you. So, you won your game. Well, I mean, your team did. Well, I was the forfeit yesterday. Now, who's the lucky victim today? I take it that all the members of the team that lost are involved. What time are the others coming down?
Soon. You asked when the forfeit was due. It's due to start any minute now. I do hope you'll enjoy it. Yes. Due to start any minute now.
In the back with Juliet and me. Just the three of us. Nice and cozy. Ivan, Piet, ready?
There you are, sweetheart.
You're his eyes, darling. Without you, he's blind. Guide him.
Slowly. Keep going straight. Left. No, right.
There they are now.
Right. Keep right. Now straighten up. Left.
Who's in that car?
Would you like to look?
Left. Slightly to your left.
Steve. Is that your special arrangement?
Rather fun, don't you think?
Left, lowering, right. Now straighten up. Now left. Slowly, gently, right. Right, left, short left. Left. Keep going straight, left.
Here they are now.
Right, sharp right.
Don't you find it exciting?
Left, slow down, go slower.
Well, don't you?
Right now. Straighten up. Gently, slower.
Good. We've nearly made it. Home, James! We've done it!
Yes. A near miss. Now do you see what it's all about? The game. The risk, the excitement. It's much more thrilling than anything you've ever written. You stand outside. You're a writer. A kind of a commentator. An intellectual eunuch. But I'm an actor. I live what you've imagined but never really experienced.
Why?
You enjoy it. Good. Well, now you're going to play a game with me.
What kind of a game?
Oh, your game. Your rules. But played my way. Well, yesterday, you were playing a game that I called Hate. Well, today, Mark's going to play a game called Fright. Now, it's perfectly simple. Between now and noon tomorrow, I'm going to frighten him so much that he actually shows his fear on his face and in my presence.
Ridiculous. You're going to scare me.
With the help of your friends.
You can't. Listen, he's asked for your help. You don't have to give it, but this is so absurd that I'd deem it a great favor if you would. Anyway, you might find it amusing.
The usual rule, though, no physical violence.
What do you propose to do, Mr. Temple? Huh? Make weird noises outside his room? Drop lizards down the chimney?
Well, I'll tell you, if I may, when Mark isn't here.
All right, I'll go. You're going to make me show fear. I don't know the meaning of the word.
Then you're about to find out. Right. Now, this is what I want.
Of course. The game. Fantastic. Temple! I know you're here. I know you're listening. You think you can scare me? You must be mad. I haven't been alone in years. It's the best thing that anybody could do.
I'm his stuntman. His double. I work for him. But he treats me like a friend. In fact, I think I'm his only friend. See, all the others want something. I want only what I get. My salary, you know, which is very generous. And yet he gives me so much more. His house, always traveling to places, always working, food and drink. And also friendship. I mean, they don't love him. I think he knows that and trusts me. But he doesn't trust any of them. Not at all.
Why doesn't he do his own stunts?
Because I do them better. But he's not afraid, oh no.
Well, is he afraid of anything?
Yeah. He's afraid of one thing only, and that's something you can't bring him. He's afraid of not working anymore. You're not getting the jobs. Of going out of fashion and not acting anymore.
He married me to correct certain deficiencies in his public image. I was young, fairly talented, glamorous, well-known. Just what he wanted. He told me all that when he proposed. I didn't mind. I was in love with him then.
Why don't you leave him?
Why should I? I need him. His way of life, his friends, his fame, his money, his endless credit, his generosity. Oh, he may be buying my company, but he's still very generous with his fees. He could keep me around for far, far less than that.
Is he afraid of losing your company? Is he afraid of anything?
Oh, yes. That's why I'm helping you now. To make him realize that he needs us, too. That's the one thing he's most afraid of, what you've just done to him, Paul. Mr. Temple, being alone. It's about time he knew what it was like.
I don't just manage him, Mr. Temple. I look after him in many, many ways. In games, inventing enough games and forfeits to make sure that he's never bored. That ride this morning, for instance, that was nothing compared to some of the things I've done for him in the past.
Is that what he's afraid of? Being bored?
Good heavens, no.
Then what?
Mark is terrified of not being loved. Thank you for that. Absolutely terrified. Why he should worry, I really cannot think. I'll be getting along.
Goodbye. It is sad. They all seem to hate him so.
I've asked each one of them so far, what is it that Mark Hill most fears? And each one of them has given me what he or she most feared, each one.
What are you going to do?
Try and restore the balance a little.
You don't think they'll agree to leave him?
No, not now. Listen, have a word with the manager. Try and get hold of a shotgun first thing in the morning.
What about the physical violence rule?
I'm not going to use violence. Well, not directly. I would, though, if I thought it'd help.
Why should I hate him? Hmm? It should be him that hates me. I always get the kind of parts now that he used to play at my age. Oh, it's his doing, of course. He's done everything he possibly can to help me. I owe him my career. I owe him everything, in fact.
Well, how long before you find a younger man playing your part?
You're talking rubbish.
He's using you, isn't he? He's using you to stay young. You know, you act like it. He needs you. He is you.
Mark isn't old yet.
Oh, he is.
He doesn't look it. Doesn't feel it. He's always promised that when he gets too old, he's going to kill himself. That's the only thing he's really frightened of. Getting old.
Will you help me?
Hmm? No one's going to get hurt?
chief should have him out of the house by now. He's going to get a message that will take him to some deserted farmhouses. And when he gets there, I want all of you to be there too.
Do you really think that you, a complete stranger, can persuade him he's in danger from us?
The fear will come when he realizes that I could be right. That's what'll scare him.
Right about what?
I'll explain. But first, I just want you all to agree to be there.
For the sake of the game. Okay.
What about you?
Well, I've told you the only thing that'll frighten him. But I'll go if you want. For the game.
You've told me what frightens you. Each one of you told me his own fear, and then fathered it on Mark.
You haven't asked me.
Because I think you know. If I asked you to leave him, would you?
No, of course you wouldn't.
I love him.
Yes, of course you do, dear.
Why don't you leave him? All of you. Why don't you let him go?
So that he can live happily ever after with you. Do you really think you could tame Mark?
He doesn't need taming. He needs desperately to be loved. That's all. The one thing Mark fears is...
being hated, right, Maria?
Well, there's nothing new for Mark. He knows people hate him.
No. Despise him, yes. But real hate? Well, that's something very different. That's an uncontrollable emotion that could prompt somebody to kill. Now, which one of you hates him enough to want to see him dead? Given the opportunity, which one of you would have the guts to kill? If Mark is to survive as a human being, he's got to be taught a lesson. And one that he'll never forget.
Is that for me?
Do you think he's ill?
You?
I'm not sure. What are you going to do?
Stage an accident with a shotgun.
He's not scared of loud noises, Mr. Temple.
Now, you've told me what he's scared of. Being hated. There'll be 5 of you up there all hating him. Well, perhaps this time he'll learn how much.
Thanks to you, I've had the best rest I've had in 10 years. What are you doing up here?
I sent for you.
You?
Mm-hmm. You got a note. I know who signed it and the name of the little girl who gave it to you. I've organized everything.
No wonder you're a writer. Any ordinary mortal would have used the post.
Now then, the object of the exercise is this. All your 5 friends are up there. I presented them with a perfect setup for killing you. Now then, each of them knows that the others are up there, so any one of them can take a pot shot at you and get away with it. Safety in numbers, you know.
That's meant to scare me.
Well, only if you're intelligent enough to let it. 5 people there who hate your guts. They're all up there waiting for you.
They hate me?
Your wife, your manager, your girlfriend, your double, and Ivan. Oh, now, come on, you're not stupid. Do you really think they like you?
You may be right. They may hate me. But kill me? They need me too much. Oh, come on, admit. You've lost the game.
You think I'm joking?
I'll prove it.
I wouldn't try it if I were you.
Come on! Whoever you are! Put an end to the game once and for all! Come on! Kill me!
wasn't me. I didn't fire.
I know, I know. Blanks. Could have been any one of them, couldn't it? Well, you'll never know which one of you did it, will you? Not that it matters. You all wanted to, didn't you?
Would you mind giving me a lift?
We're just going back over the ferry.
Yes. So am I. Thank you.
Are you leaving?
Yes. They can get on with it. You know, you're absolutely right. Playing games is no substitute for real life. Who was it, by the way?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I see. Well, I'm better off without them. I don't need them, you see. I reckon the best thing that anybody ever did for me in my life was to open my eyes to that lot. Oh, I need people. My sort of people. For instance, you, Paul. Think of what a difference it would make to my work if I had a writer like you writing my scripts in future. Particularly now that I'm not bogged down with that terrible lot.
Mm-hmm.